Hey, bro, you gonna tap into this Love is Blind UK season 2? Why not? How would you know it's whack? It's not even out yet. What you mean you got a gut feeling? No, we off that. Check your spleen. All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, today we're talking about episodes 1 through 4 of Love is Blind UK Season 2. But now I'm going to be talking about them like you've seen them too. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, look, it wasn't no oh my golly wally moments until episode 4. Boom! Episode 1. This one's called Eat, Sleep, Date, Repeat. Okay, we're back. And since I already did that cast breakdown, we don't need to get into all that. And if you didn't see that video, I have no choice but to take that as a sign of disrespect. I'm just kidding. It's probably floating around here somewhere if you're trying to do your homework. Okay, Season 2, Love is Blind UK. We are again with our hosts, Matt and Emma Willis. And before we open up the pods, I'll be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Sophie does indeed still look surprised. Oh, and a cabin crew manager is indeed a flight attendant. So I was obviously right about that. Yeah, I mean, what is it like being a genius? I don't know. I mean, I just try to stay humble, but I mean, it's a burden. Our first connection that we spent a lot of time with is with Billy and Ashley. Billy is that army dude, and we find out that she was an army cadet. And I don't know if that's like our ROTC, but they have a connection off that. They talk about going to all those sergeant messes, which I guess are like dances for people in the army. Just using the context, we have a long way to go. I'm sorry. Then we find out that Billy has a Cocker Spaniel named Ollie. I know some of y'all were like, I knew Ollie was a dog. Just getting warmed up. Okay, Ashley's been single for 4 years. She lost her trust in men and also lost her confidence. Billy's like, don't even trip, because I was low-key married 5 years ago. He married someone that was also in the army. She's like, what happened? He's like, we fell out of love. Translation, I don't know, man. I got no choice but to believe him, but you fell out of love? What are you talking about? Anyway, she's like, so does that make you really fearful of divorce now? He's like, kinda, but I just know the next time I say I do, it's forever. Okay. Enter Hurricane Sophie. This is the scene where she asks Yolanda, hey, do you like my hair better in the front or to the side? Yolanda's like, however you prefer it is better. And then Sophie's like, I hate when people do that. Which, honestly, Sophie is kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, if I do ask your opinion, I would like you to take a vote. But a lot of times people already have their minds made up. So Yolanda could have been like on the side, and then Sophie could have been like, nah, I like it better in the front. So that's the problem. It is annoying, but people don't be listening to advice anyway, so I kind of get both sides. That's very diplomatic of me. That's growth. Anyway, Sophie says she's been single for so long because she treats first dates like interviews. And in these interviews here, I just learned things that she hates. She hates cats. She hates the dad jokes that these guys are dropping. She hates that Jordan lives with his mom. At least she knows she's terrible. She calls it being guarded. Her first connection is with Kieran. He's the gaming entrepreneur. She tells him that she works in sustainability. He's like, oh, wow, that's so good. She's like, I wish I could say it was for the environment, but they actually pay really well. It's the honesty for me. They talk about kids. He wants 2. She wants no more than 3 because, and I quote, I don't want an ugly car. And when I tell you this girl is going to go triple platinum on Perfect Match Season 4, she tells him that her red flags are, again, like she doesn't let nobody in. That's why she forced herself to go on Love is Blind and get herself out of her comfort zone. Either way, she likes this guy. She thinks she found her husband. Kieran's other match is with Megan. Megan is the one who I dragged for her outfit in my Meet the Cast video. But she actually is really cool. So for that, I am sorry that you chose to wear that on picture day. Megan is the fitness/dance instructor. We find out that she used to dance disco. She used to work on cruises. He tells her he's got liquid hips, whatever the fuck that means. In regards to kids, she tells him that she wants to have one and adopt one. He's like, oh, I never even thought about that, but I would be open to it. The point is, they are vibing. We have a fresh love triangle brewing. But he seems cool. She seems cool. I got no red flags from either of these two. Then we meet Patrick. Chill. Patrick is the one that's on his energy kick. He is a little weird. So I was kind of right in my Meet the Cast video. His first kind of pod date we see is with Yolanda. He tells her, oh, no. I just follow my spleen. She's like, yeah, I'm out. Anyway, you're going to hear a lot about this splenic instinct, but he claims it's more potent than your gut. And believe it or not, there's like a whole world of people that follow these practices. I thought he made it up. Then I made the mistake of going on Reddit. And they are there. Damn near try to recruit me. I'm just here doing some research, y'all. At this rate, I'll never finish. So then he hangs with Anu. He tells her he's a life coach, but uses the human design system. Translation, there's zero money coming in. Whatever he's feeling in his spleen is likely hunger. But he's getting into it. He's trying to explain this splenic instinct to Anu. She's like, look, bro, I'm a Christian. I wake up and I pray. I read my Bible and I pray. I call my family and I pray. He's like, oh, no. That's just fine. I love that you pray. I was once a simple-minded fool who just prayed. He didn't say that, but for sure. Now we officially meet Sarovar. Sarovar has only ever dated Indian dudes. She seems nice. A little posh, but she seems nice. I could see her nice ass getting her heart broken and making us all cry. But let's hope for the best. Who is her connection with? Oh shit, it's Cal. Look at that leg. Anyway, they start talking about work and how she co-owns that medical company and he co-owns his gym. They are talking about past relationships. He tells her about dating that girl in Dubai. Just didn't work out. He's like, now I'm dating with intention. Somewhere out there, that girl is in Dubai watching this like, I knew it. Anyway, he goes on to talk about how he's old school. He wants to be the protector, the provider. Listen, bruv, by the sounds of it, this girl is loaded. I don't think she needs you to provide for her. Quick check-in at the women's quarters, aka Dub Q. Has Yolanda smiled yet? Then we go to Billy and Ashley's second pod date. This is where she asked him about tattoos. He's like, yeah, I got this Michael Bublé lyric. Bublé? I got this Michael Bublé tattoo on my arm as some song lyric. And he just wants to put like the girl he marries name under it. So yeah. Then they're talking about that army dance. And I hate that I was cheesing while watching it. Then we go to Kieran and Megan's second pod date. These two are grooving right along. They talk about how sweaty they get and how they're going to be slipping and sliding all over each other. These people are horny as fuck. Continuing with the triangle, we got Kieran and Sophie's second pod date. Way less groovy, much more awkward. You could tell something's just a little off here. And for one thing, Sophie's not giving him that freak talk that he's been looking for. She tells us that no one besides her dad has seen all of her. She goes on to say that she's so scared of getting heartbroken that she self-sabotages. That way, if it doesn't work out, the joke's on them because they never even saw the real her. And that all sounds exhausting. Then we get Cal and Sarovar's second pod date. This dude's arms look like Captain America. He's telling her about how he almost lost both of his brothers, one of them in the Marines, the other one due to substance abuse. Yeah, the Marine guy literally survived getting shot, and the other one cleaned himself up, found a lovely lady, made her his wife, and he's been sober for 2 years. The whole time, Sarovar's listening to this very intently and being very supportive. We got no notes here. Billy and Ashley pod date round 3. Things are starting to heat up. She's like, tell me about your family. He's like, well, my dad was my first role model. He immediately starts crying. She's like, no, it's okay. Let it out. She tells him, I only want to be loved. I spend so much time caring for others. I just think it's time someone cared for me. And that's fair. Now let's get into this fumble. As you know, Ashley is a cabin crew manager. And as you might know, a cabin crew manager is a flight attendant. Apparently, Billy's dated cabin crew in the past and it didn't work out. So he asks her, hey, have you ever thought about a different job? She tells him, oh, yes, all the time. I mean, being cabin crew just works out for my lifestyle. I have no husband. I have no kids. I can fly anywhere I want. But if I were to settle down, I would for sure look into other options. And I guess she was talking directly into my ear because This dude ignored all of it. I wrote down in my notes, don't do this, Billy. Billy did indeed do it. Okay, over to Anu and Patrick on their second pod date. They're getting into their family background. His parents are Jamaican and Nigerian, and she's Nigerian. She's like, let me guess. Your Nigerian dad was strict as fuck, and your Jamaican mom was cool as hell. He's like, damn, that's exactly right. How'd you know that? She's like, well, yeah, I'm Nigerian. I know they'd be fucking wilding out. Okay. He goes on to tell her, like, yeah, I even did a year of school in Nigeria. She's like, you did? When? He's like, I don't know. I think I was like 12. She's like, yeah, my mom told me that school in Nigeria was super hard. She had to go fetch her own water from like the next village over. He's like, yeah, I did that too. Oh, is it? Why does she do that? Listen, if you don't watch the show and you just watch these reviews, just know some stuff be happening and some stuff didn't. That happened. Anyway, she's still into this connection. She's telling someone like, he's the only spiritual person here. And I hope she knows that he's not the Christian she thinks he is. Then we go to Cal and Sorover's round 3 pod date. This is where they talk about their family background. He's like, how was your upbringing? She's like, honestly, I had a very happy and healthy upbringing. But it does kind of suck because my parents got divorced like 8 years ago. He's like, oh, shit. Yeah, mine got divorced around that same time. We find out here that he's mixed. His mom is English and his dad is from Pakistan. She's like, whoa, it's because she's Indian. Now he wants to know, like, hey, will your family accept me? And yes, Sorover is Indian. He's like, will your family accept me? Now, as much as I would love to throw on my glasses and give you another Tate's Take educational breakdown, today I'm going to spare you. If I was going to grossly oversimplify this long-standing conflict between India and Pakistan, let's just say it boils down to religion. And who could have possibly guessed that? Okay, then we're back with Ashley and Billy still going on about this cabin crew bullshit. Bro, Cal and Sorover are willing to overlook decades of political strife for their love. And you're upset that this girl goes on a lot of airplanes? He tells her, I loved our dates, but there comes a point where you got to be honest with people. Boom, episode 2. This one's called This Is How Triangles Are Formed. We're back with that stupid Billy and Ashley cliffhanger. He tells her that he actually dated cabin crew in the past and it didn't work out. She's like, what happened? He's like, the schedules didn't align. It just fizzled out. She's like, okay, well, yeah, that sucks to hear, but, I thought our connection was really strong. I could see us growing together. I could see us starting a family together. He's like, I'm sorry, did you say family? She's like, yeah, well, when I have a family, I'll probably get a new job and, I wouldn't be able to be a cabin crew manager. He's like, oh, I'm so happy you said that. I'm watching this, they're like, bitch, she said in episode 1. Anyway, I guess this fight is over. Good riddance. Then we're back with Cal and Sorover. He wants to address the elephant in the room. Is that racist? Just kidding. He's like, look, girl, just as a reminder, I'm half Pakistani and you're Indian. Is your family going to be cool with this? Mind you, this dude don't even date Indians. What you want about, bruv? She tells him, even though I've only dated Indian guys, it's time for me to put myself first. Not only that, my parents are actually super cool. Not only that, my grandparents are super cool. Bro, we good. Okay, enter Javin. Javin tells us that he's been single, I think, pretty much his whole life. So I don't think he's had a serious relationship ever. Good idea to go on Love is Blind where you have to marry a stranger. But anyway, Javin tells us that he has no problem dating multiple women. Yeah. His connection is with Katisha, the nanny. They talk about jobs, past relationships. She tells him that, yeah, she's been single for the last 6 years. Her last breakup was very traumatic. The guy cheated on her like over and over, and she kept taking him back. And now knowing what we know, none of that is shocking. He's like, no, I'm sorry you had to go through that. And I'm also sorry in advance for when I do it to you too. Okay, that last part, I'll rewind it, but he might not have said that. I wrote down, she seems nice. Not sold on him yet. Katisha's other connection is with Damola. This pod day is where she does her best Michael Jackson impression. They're getting to know each other. She tells him he speaks so softly, like he's whispering in her ear. She's from Scotland. He's from Rumford, but his background is Nigerian. I wrote down, this dude is way better than Javin so far. New triangle loading. Do the right thing, Katisha. It's too bad Katisha don't read my notes. Over in the men quarters, aka MQ, Damola is telling the crew, like, yeah, the person I'm most connected to is Katisha. Javin's like, oh, that's interesting. And that's how triangles are formed. Oh, that's the episode title. Yeah, because the guy said it. Yeah. Back over to Billy and Ashley, fresh off cabin crew gate. This is where I thought he was going to propose, but this is just another quick date where they have like those pink cowboy hats. And I hate the fact that this stupid dance through the walls actually worked. She's like, I could really see this working. She asks him, what's the first thing you're going to do when you see me? He's like, I'm going to tell you I love you. Oh, shit. Me and Ashley made the same face. She's like, I love you too. Damn, early birds. Then we got a pod date with Kieran and Megan. Megan looking good. They talk about their insecurities. I think Megan says something about her job. I guess like people don't be taking it seriously. He says his is divorce and how he could be a little needy in relationships sometimes. Then she opens up about her family and tells him how she never really knew her dad. She tells that story about how when she was like 17 and working at the bar, her dad came in once with his new lady and she knew right away, hey, that's my dad. Dude didn't even say anything. Came back a couple days later with a boring ass note. Ugh, gross. The point is that she's explaining how she never saw healthy relationships growing up. She saw how poorly her mom was treated, and she's like, I never want to be treated like that. I still like them. I just hope this dude doesn't fall for Sophie's tricks. And speak of the devil, here she is. He knows that his connection with Megan is a little stronger, but he wants to see if he can get there with Sophie. By the way, she already told you she don't get deep, bro, but good luck. This part was so crazy, though. He's like, so what do you want to do with your life? She's like, oh, well, I definitely have some goals that I want to achieve. He's like, great. What are they? She's like, well, a lot of those goals are just getting certain designer bags. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Over to Billy and Ashley, fresh off that love fest. He tells her, stand up and come to the wall. Is this happening right now? This man's already proposing. Holy moly. He gets on one knee and proposes. She, of course, says yes. He goes back to MQ, and the love was decent. She goes back to WQ, and the love was stronger, which is strange because girls can be haters. Okay, we're about to link back up with Patrick and Anu, but before we do that, she calls him the smartest person in the house, and she says that she's more spiritual than him, which, no, you're not. Also, hey, Lori, what's up? On their pod date, she asks him, so do you want to wait until marriage to have sex? Or he's like, no. We don't have to wait, but I'm totally cool with waiting if you want to wait. She's like, no. We don't have to wait. He's like, good. Because after I feel it in my spleen, I'm trying to feel it in my peen. Okay, listen. If that doesn't deserve a like, nothing else in this video will. Over to Cal. Is this dude about to propose? I know this dude, Cal, didn't wear a Hot Topic heartbreak shirt to propose. But yes, the fuck he did. He shares his thoughts, gets down on one knee, and proposes. Pants didn't even rip. She didn't stand up, but she says she will totally marry him. I was watching this like, something's missing here. All right, then we got Jed finally getting some TV time. This dude is from Essex and he's half Lebanese. His connection is with Barda. Barda is Albanian and grew up in Kosovo. She was brought up Muslim but doesn't really practice. He's half Muslim. They talk about kids. She's like, I have to have kids. This pleases Jed. Okay, now we got some static over at WQ. Megan comes in literally shouting about her connection with Kieran. Sophie's hearing this like, fuck, does this mean I have to open up? So now Sophie and Kieran go on a pod date. She's kind of opening up, talking about her parents. She's like, I have a little bit of a tumultuous relationship with my mom, and that stems from the divorce. I feel like after my mom found a new man, she chose that dude over me. She kind of blames her mom for how she's treating this process. But just because she opened up a little bit, she says that she's comparing what she did to a Tango ice blast where like Kieran sucked all the juices out of it and now it's frozen again. Got to wait for it to melt some more for him to get some more information out of her, which I hate that it's a good analogy, but it is dumb. And obviously I didn't know what a Tango ice blast was, American. But it seems to be an icy. All right, we got our first reveal. Of course, it's Billy and Ashley. Long story short, They seem to like each other. This was a pretty decent reveal. I like Ashley a lot. Seems like a real cool girl. Not all the way sold on Billy yet. Just not all the way. But again, a nice reveal. Okay, back with Demola. We like Demola. He's on a pod date with Katisha. She's telling him about her childhood, how she was working at 14, on her own at 16. Damn, Natalia Grace. He tells her, like, yeah, my childhood was pretty good. Parents, siblings, my grandma was my best friend, and unfortunately, she passed away a couple years ago. He was heartbroken. So what we're going to do is pour some out for Demola's grand and all the grands out there. But yeah, I'm watching this pod date and I'm like, yeah, we like Demola, but there's something off here. And the something off was Javin. So now she's on a pod date with him. We find out that she's half Jamaican, half Spanish, and he's Jamaican. She's never been to Jamaica though. He's like, I could take you there. She's like, oh, that sounds really nice. He's like, oh, sorry to interrupt, but how big are you on sexual chemistry? She's like, yeah, of course, it's important. But I would say that the emotional connection is more important. He's like, yes, I would agree with that. But also when it comes to smashing, do you have any requirements? Would you like to be smashing every day? Or basically how much would you say per week you like to be smashing? And here my dumbass is thinking, oh, she's going to see right through this horn dog, but she's into it. Our next pod date is with Kieran and Megan. This is where he gives her that Japanese ornament and sprayed it with his aftershave. He had no idea he was his generation's Oppenheimer. And that's a story for later. But right now, he wants to let her know he's putting all his cards on the table. And with her wearing that Jessica Rabbit cosplay, I don't blame him. Now let's tap into some drama over at Dub Q. What the hell are these girls screaming about? And did Sophie just get her wisdom teeth taken out? Katisha's asking Sophie, like, do you think you're the only person that has a connection with Kieran? She's like, bitch, are you dumb? Don't you hear this? The other girl is Megan. Honestly, Sophie, literally close your mouth. I could not continue this review with you looking like that. Please. But also, all this for an ornament, they're acting like he gave her a necklace from Tiffany. Side note, I don't know that I've captured a better photo than this in all 4 episodes. So just putting that out there. You better tell the people over at National Geographic. Boom! Episode 3. This one's called Trust My Spleen. I guess over at WQ, the women got some new workout equipment. Sophie, a.k.a. Grumpelstiltskin, still hates everything. And you see my girl Meg over here serving straight, I got my man. Sophie's still mad that the gift was so thoughtful. Now it's time for her and Meg to have a one-on-one. Sophie tells her, yeah, I just thought that was a little disrespectful. I'm sorry, what? Megan's like, yeah, well, I also am a little bit surprised that he has another connection. So I will be following up with him on the status of that relationship. Honestly, this whole time, Meg's got that I'm listening, but you sound dumb as fuck look. And I think at the end of the day, Meg's not mad that you got another connection. She's probably like, nigga, Sophie? Okay, we'll get back to them. Now we're with Jed and Barda for another pod date. They're getting to know each other. They talk about tattoos, greatest achievements. Barda opens up about her background, about her family pretty much fleeing Kosovo to go to the UK. No one in her family knew any English. Her parents had to scrape and scrap for everything. She's been working since 14 to help support her family. This bitch is real. He tells her, I'm writing everything down because I want to remember everything about us. And that was a nice touch. All right, it's time for our next reveal. This is Cal and Sorover. And for all the shit I be talking about, Cal, you do got that shit on. And the reveal is cute enough. Doors open. They seem to like what they see. Cal, not the most expressive dude, but it's nice. He gets on his knee, whatever, does the thing, and he tells her, hey, I'm going to say something that I take very seriously, and I don't tell a lot of people, but I love you. She's like, I love you too. Well done, lads. Okay, our next pod date, stop. Our next pod date is with Patrick and Anu. This is the one where he asks her to sing. Shut up. This is the one when he asks her to sing for him. She's like, the girl's a singer, by the way. You guys remember that. She's a singer. He's not just random. And she's like, no. I'm insecure. He's like, I don't like that. He's like, look, girl, society tells us to be humble. You got to ignore that shit. He's like, all right, let me ask you this. If your family didn't like me, what would you say? She's like, oh, well, I'll listen to my mom for everything. So if my mom didn't like you, you're gone. He's like, if my family said that, I wouldn't listen to them. He goes, waiting on the approval of others is low vibrational. People pleasing, what a waste of time. And I would know, because I was people pleasing for 30 years before I found my spleen. In fact, if my family told me they didn't like you, I would cut out all their spleens and eat them because they're wasting them. That was the last part of that line. But I'm also not all the way sure if he said that. But he was for sure thinking it. She's looking around like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Now she's confused and thinks that they may be out of alignment. Duh. Over to Demila and Katisha's next pod date. He thinks he's found the one. He's locked in. She's like, okay, what would dating you be like? He's like, well, I would have a big ass jar with a whole bunch of dating ideas, and we would just reach into the jar and pick a thing. Again, he's locked in. For some reason, she's not. Back at Dub Q, we find out that she's struggling with this level of adoration. She's not used to it. She's telling Barda, how could he be all the way in on me? He barely even knows me. Barda's like, bitch, have you ever considered the fact that you're an amazing person? Katisha starts crying. She doesn't know how to receive love. Poor thing. Next up, we have Sophie and Kieran on their pod date. This is where Sophie is going to drag him for getting Megan that nice-ass gift. She tells him, that was very disrespectful to me. He's like, girl, this is Love is Blind. I don't know if you've ever seen this show before, but I'm leaning all the way into the experiment, trying to make connections. You should try that shit. Now here go the sass from Sophie. She's like, oh, I love that for you. You knew she would come back to the quarters talking shit. Kieran's like, how the fuck would I know that? She tells him, I wouldn't do that to you. If you actually cared about me, you wouldn't put me through that. I'm the prize. I'm a catch. And if you saw me outside of this, you would know that too. She tells him, I don't have anything else to say, so I'm going to leave right now. Oh. Now Sophie's crying. Who's the only girl to pull up on her and check in? Of course, Yolanda. Thank you, Black Queen. Sophie's like, I just feel like everyone has their match and they just know they're the one and the other person knows that they're the one. I'm sorry, does Yolanda even have a fucking match? What are you complaining about? People who complain, I am people who complain about their problems like everybody else don't got problems. Now Sophie's about to crash out. She's like, fuck this, I'm going home. No, I'm leaving. Get this shit off me. It's a piece of shit. Get this fucking piece of shit off me. There's 8 billion people in the world. I'm sure there's someone for me out there. Well, there's actually 8.2 billion people out there, and I'm not sure there's some. No, I'm joking. There's probably at least one. So, all right. Now we're back with Patrick and Anu, trying to fix whatever the fuck they got going on. He tells her, look, I had a splenic episode, and you're the only person I want to do this experiment with. I'm back in. She asks him, what have I added to your life? He's like, oh, wow. Joy, happiness, curiosity. He's like, what will you add to my life? She's like, oh, well, I just like to be myself, you know? This dude's spleen starts bleeding. He's like, the fuck? Anu's like, well, you said that I was the only person here for you. That would mean we should take the next step. Are you ready for that? This dude Patrick's like, well, I guess if my spleen says so. And just so you know, the next step is proposal. Would you be cool with that? And when I did this next part, I'm not trying to be funny. This is what happened. This girl Anu's like, I'm sorry, what? Sushi. Stevie Wonder's over here probably thinking, Jesus Christ. I think I hate watching these two. It's not comfortable. They're leaving the pods and she's like, yeah, something's a little off, but we can turn it around. He's like, she's holding back. The connection is gone. Okay, this next pod date is very important. This is Katisha and Javin. She asks him, what do you think about our connection? He tells her, I don't know. What will be, will be. I'm sorry, what? She's like, I feel like you're holding back. Why wouldn't you just lay all your cards on the table? This dude, Javin's about to put her in a chokehold. He's like, do you think that will help you? Because Demola did that and you almost threw up. Katisha's looking like, damn, good point. Katisha's like, well, you know I have another connection here. He's like, yes. Katisha's like, man, this is tough. On the one hand, I got this dude that's treating me nicer than I've ever been treated. And on the other hand, it's this nigga. Hey, America, have you ever been faced with a similar conundrum where you've got to make a decision and the options are starkly different, but the whole world is watching and they all know what's the right choice, but you somehow still make the wrong one? Have you ever felt like that? I'm just playing, America. You know I love you. Anyway, huge scene here at MQ. So sad, so embarrassing. This is where Javen is telling the homies, like, yeah, Katisha's telling about her other connection, how he's doing all sorts of grand gestures, love bombing. Freaking Demola's like, what the fuck? And I'm sorry, they're not grand gestures. They're just normal, nice things you do when you like someone. Sheesh. Okay, sorry, moving on. Quick Kieran and Megan pod date. She just wants to know how it went with Sophie. He's like, look, forget all that. Just know that I want to do the rest of this journey with you and only you. Megan's like, sheesh. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. They say they can both see each other falling in love. And honestly, this is a change from like Love is Blind. In almost every other season, the Kieran would have for sure chosen Sophie. Then they all would have met up and he's like, I think I made a big mistake. So good on Kieran for breaking the mold. Over to Jed and Barta. This girl done made him a whole entire word search and set up some Lebanese food. Nah, yeah, you gotta lock it down. You gotta lock it down. Okay, we are now on another pod date with Damola and Katisha. This is the most important pod date in the entire season. Listen up. Put the freaking cereal down. Stop scrolling TikTok. This is critical. My man Damola set up some sangria, starts to pour his heart out. She's like, you know I have another connection. He's like, oh, I know. How do you feel about that connection? Because I can see myself falling in love with you. And if I'm being honest, I'm already halfway there. She tells him, I think my decision has been made. He's like, can you see yourself falling in love with me? She's like, yeah, I can definitely see this working. I'm going to just say this part real close. Damola says, I know you have another connection. Katisha tells him, no, don't worry. Nothing's going to change. Damola says, I'm sorry, can you say that again? She says, nothing's going to change. Katisha goes back to Dub Q and tells all the girls, Demola's my man. Now Katisha is in a pod date with Javen to end things. Javen has left flowers in the pod. These roses are beautiful. Did you do this? He's like, yeah, I'm trying to lock something in. Katisha's like, ruh-roh. She tells him that her other connection may be stronger. He tells her, well, I guess you got to follow your heart. She tells him, and that's what I love about you. What? She's like, I know this is hard. He's like, I'll be all right. It's textbook. She tells him, you don't have to stay in the pod. I know I done broke your heart. You can leave. He's like, no. I'm going to stay and finish my drink. But if you want to leave, you can leave too. She's like, well, I guess I'll finish my drink too. He's like, well, if you're going to stay, let me at least read these ChatGPT notes that I wrote for you. Is that cool? She's like, oh, you got notes? Yeah, sure. She tells him, damn, now I feel disconnected from my decision. He comes back to MQ. He's like, well, that was interesting. Demola's like, what was interesting? Listen up, y'all. I'm about to give y'all some Tate's Take truth that's going to be hard to hear. Sometimes the one you like can get away with the bare minimum just because you like them. And the people that treat us good, we take for granted because we know they always going to be there treating us good. It's not that she didn't like Demola's grand gestures. She didn't like that they were from him. And that's just how it be sometimes. Moving on. We are with Kieran and Meg in the pods. He is going to propose. And look, she wrote him a poem. How nice. Kieran does just that. He proposes, standing up, by the way, but she can't see him. So, of course, she says yes. Over at MQ, Patrick is happy for the guys, but he doesn't understand why he's not feeling the love. At WQ, Anu is literally writing a song to perform for Patrick. She's like, I know this nigga been asking for a song. This is going to hit. Now we're in the pods with these two. She's like, I've been having a little bit of writer's block, honestly, but our connection has inspired me. And believe it or not, I actually wrote you a song. Do you want to hear it? Patrick's like, maybe. When I had asked you to sing me a song originally, why the fuck didn't you? Okay. She's like, well, I wanted it to be from the heart. He's like, look, if I ask my woman to sing me a song, she better sing me a fucking song. Okay, he also didn't say that either. He tells her, I don't want you to sing a song for someone undeserving of it. I've enjoyed going through this experience with you, but I have to follow my spleen. Whoa. Boom! Episode 4. This one's called She Changed Her Mind Overnight. And obviously, I hate the title of it because of what it implies. We are still with Patrick and Anu. He tells her, it breaks my heart, but I'm breaking up with you. Yeesh. He says, sorry if you feel like I've wasted your time. She's like, so you don't... Stop. So you don't want to hear the song? Shut up. I'm kidding. She's like, just when you think you found your person, then you get punched in the gut. Patrick's like, actually, just Patrick, not now. He tells her, I wish you all the best, but this is goodbye for now. Also, this is not the time nor the place, but the way that Nick and Vanessa Lachey are going to drag that feel it in your spleen at the reunion, just buckle up from now. Anyway, this dude Patrick is weird, but he did her a favor. He's going to have to end up with one of the women in like his like energy tribe. Any regular modern day woman with like electricity or internet, it's not gonna work. Okay, get serious. Jed is about to propose to Barda. They're in the pods. He asks her to stand up. He's like, honestly, I wish I can get the permission of your parents and your brothers, but for right now, I want to propose to you. And that was a nice little touch. I feel like people don't be saying that part. That's a nice touch. Of course, she says yes. We move onward. Over to the Meg and Kieran reveal. This dude is a stud, I'm not going to lie. I mean, she looks good too, of course, but good Lord. When those doors open, even she can't believe how hot this dude is. He tells her he didn't get on one knee in the pods because he only wanted to do it one time and in person with the woman that he loves. And goddamn it, Kieran, I'm afraid you've outsmarted me. And they have a very cute reveal. Okay, everyone just put your seatbelts on because we're going back to our love triangle. Damola is on his way to propose to Katisha. He's walking to the pods. What's the title of this episode? No, I can't. Let me just watch. She opens up the pod door and she sounds terrible. Damola clocks it right away. He's like, girl, is everything okay? You good? Katisha says, there isn't an easy way to say this. Oh my golly Wally. Told you this episode 4. No, it can't be. She's like, you know I had another connection. He's like, yeah, I had to go with my gut. Then out of nowhere, Patrick busts through the door. He's like, girl, no. He's bleeding. Okay, that was uncalled for. Damola says, you have to understand, this is coming as quite a shock. And it's because Damola is a gentleman. What he was thinking was, bitch. He asked her a very important question. He says, why did you tell me that your decision wouldn't change? She tells him that the romantic connection just wasn't always there. He tells her, it's been nice knowing you, and I wish you the best. This dude's a real class act. It's just he's got class. Now he's got to go back to MQ. They thinking he coming back a fiance. They're already celebrating. He's like, no. It didn't happen. They're so used to winning, they think he's trolling. He's like, no, this is not a joke. She switched up the whole game. It's mad. And good on Cal here. You may be wearing some tight-ass pants, but he's like, think about it like this. If she would treat you like that, she's not the one for you, bruv. Okay, Cal. Katisha tells us Damola deserves someone that's 100% sure that he's the one. This whole thing is nuts. Now she's sitting in a pod date with Javin. Pants at a cool 7.9. He tells her, I was going to go home yesterday. She's like, I know. I'm happy you're still here. He gets down on one knee and I literally turn my TV off. Then I realize I have a job to do for you guys, so I turned it back on. He stutters his way into a proposal. I feel that. Even Katisha's like, whoa, I've never heard you fumble your words like that. It's because it's bullshit. Anyway, he spits it out. She says yes. Honestly, they deserve each other. And I'm for sure going to spin the block on this clip when it doesn't work out. And the love at MQ better be weak when Javin comes back. But would you look at that? Would you fucking look at that? This dude Javin walks into MQ, and who's the first person to dap him up? No, tell me who you see there. Of course, Demola. He says, no. We're going to celebrate this dude properly. Congrats, bruv. Holy moly, you better than me. You better than me, because I would have snuck out and tried to get another pod date with Katisha to fucking spit some more game. This dude, Javin, is in MQ. He just got the Demola dap. Everybody is saying congrats. They're following the lead of Demola. Javin has the nerve to say, I know it's been crazy, but women, they never know what they want. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that how you're talking about your fiance? Now Katisha pulls back into Dub Q. She's like, shh. They're like, are you engaged? She goes, yeah. Yes, I'm engaged, but just chill. We gotta get the fuck out of there. We are going to the Barda and Jed reveal. And damn, she looks good. When those doors open, he can't believe what he's seeing. So much so that this dude goes for a double handful. Anyway, this reveal is quite nice. Perhaps the best reveal of the season. You guys be the judge of that. But just overall, no real notes. Just a nice normal reveal. Ugh. Then the Katisha and Javin reveal. I turned my TV off. Then I remembered I have a job to do. So I turned it back on. She hopes he's tall. He hopes she's hot. This reveal angers me, but let me just do my job. His pants are short and tight. What? That is my job. He gets on one knee. He proposes. This is the worst reveal. And not just because I hate their relationship. It is the worst. He don't like her. She don't know him. It's just awkward. Okay, talk about ending on a low note. Now all the couples are heading over to Cyprus, which apparently they call the land of love. And that shit looks good as hell. I don't have a lot of notes from that welcome to Cyprus scene, minus the fact that I want to go there. What did I write down here? Cal wants to see Katisha because she did his boy dirty. Katisha brought over those dead ass roses that symbolizes how this relationship is going to be over before someone in the comments tells me I should review Love Island. I wrote that down. Car and Sorover. She tells him, when she was like, I would say you're my usual type. Jim bod, pretty boy, but you're better than those other guys. Cal tells her, yeah, I usually date white girls with light eyes. Cal, what are you doing? Okay, then a couple dates before all the couples are going to meet up for the first time. Katisha and Javin go on a date. Obviously, it sucks. He says that, I feel like she's my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. They don't say I love you, blah, blah, whatever. I don't care. Billy and my girl Ashley seems like a fine date. Jed and Barda, another fine date. Kieran and Meg are just trying to smash. Now, the next morning wake-ups. Billy and Ash spend most of the night just cuddling. Cal and Sorover look like they smashed. And unfortunately, it seems to be that Katisha and Javin were smashing. Which, for you, Katisha, means you'll never see him again. Now, before the episode comes to a close, we have the couples all meeting up. First thing we learn is that Cal tells us that Barda will be his normal type. Cal, literally, just stop. The guys are now, for some reason, all gentlemen. No one wants to talk about smashing. Then these dweebs over here shouting about the L word. Ashley's like, yeah, I said it. And he said it back. Barda, how about you? Barda's like, yeah, we be saying it. Ashley's like, Katisha, what about you? Katisha's like, well, since he hates me, we haven't said it yet, but I think it'll come. I just don't want to rush these things. Ashley is for sure not buying it. And Cal, what the hell are you doing over there? Honestly, Ashley is just collecting every bit of tea she possibly can. And I don't even hate it. The last scene of the episode is Cal confronting Katisha about how she did his boy. They're sitting down. He's like, so what happened? Katisha's like, it wasn't anything against him. Cal's like, yeah, because he didn't do anything wrong. At all. So what was it? She tells him, my connection with Javin was just much stronger. I definitely made the right choice. And if y'all think I'm not saving this photo of this smug look on her face when she tells him she made the right decision, I'm telling you right now, Katisha and Javin are going to crash and burn so hard, all you're going to hear from me is, nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save 50 pounds per person. That's 200 pounds off for a family of 4. That's all you're going to hear. And boom, that's episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ugh. Katisha, what the fuck, bro? The internet won't be kind to you. That was like Thanos. Yeah, that's it, y'all. Fuck. It took a while to get there, but we finally got some heat. I think this show will get better next week. A lot of pod stuff here, but damn. Oh, let me do my anything. As always, thanks for checking out Taste Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, please. What couples do you like? What do you think is going to happen? She's going to go and get Demila? She said she made the right decision, though, so. Do you think I'm not going to fucking spin the block on that clip? Oh, my Lord. Okay, sorry. Let me get focused. Next week, they're going to release episodes 5 through 9. That's 5 episodes. Yeesh. So I'll have a video for you next week. Pretty close to when I don't know when they come out. Just relax. Sheesh. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace. Let me think if I got any rambles here. Rambles. What's been going on in the world? Oh, honestly, low key, I don't know that I'm going to have time to even do a perfect match finale. What is it? Video. So I'm going out of town. So maybe when I get back, we can do a live where I talk about these episodes 1 through 4 of Love is Blind, and then I just maybe start with Perfect Match, the last episode, if you guys care. So that's just a little housekeeping. Also, for those of you who comment sometimes like, "Oh, he's back. Love is Blind is back." I don't go nowhere. It's just YouTube is smart enough to know that a lot of you guys only watch my Love is Blind stuff. But if you go to my channel, I got a whole bunch of other videos on movies and other TV shows. So I don't be going nowhere. It's just, so if you care about that stuff, you can go and do some other viewing.